Hello class, my name is Miss Martinez. Let's go ahead and begin with math. Today we will be working with dividing decimal numbers with whole numbers, and we will be solving these problems through long division. You should have a worksheet that looks like this. There are a total of 9 questions on the worksheet. We will work through a couple of them together and until we get the hang of it, and then you will go ahead and finish the rest on your own. So let's go ahead and jump right in and begin with number 1. So let's start out with the first question. So the first one is 1 divided by 48.4. So let's start out first by looking at our whole number. So our whole number before the decimal is 48. So let's divide that first and then we will go from there. So I have 1 divided by 48 is 48. So let's go ahead and subtract 48, and 1 goes into 48 times. Okay, we subtract it and we get 0 and we are left with 4. Okay, let's not yet worry about our decimals. Let's worry about our numbers and getting them to all zeros, and then we will worry about where the placement of the decimals go. So now we have a 4 down here and a 1 up there. How many times does 1 go into 4? 4 times, perfect. Again, remember, any number divided by 1 is itself. So we have 4. Now we are at a 0, so we're done. We can't do anything else after that. Once we hit 0, we're good to go. So we are left with 48 and 4. We started out with our first initial number was 48, so let's go ahead and add a decimal right above there. So now our answer is 48.4. The first one was fairly easy because we were dividing by 1. It turned out to be itself. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second question. We have 48.9, divide that by 3. So I already went ahead and wrote it. We have it right there. Again, let's look at just this number before the decimal. So 48 again. How many times does 3 go into 48? That is 16 times. So 3 times 16 equals 48. Let's go ahead and then subtract our numbers. We put our 16 up there. 48 here, the number we started with. We subtract it by 48 and we are left with 0 down here. And we bring down our other number. So let's bring down our 9. See how we brought down our 9 to the bottom? Now we have 9. So now let's look at 3 and 9. How many times can 3 go into 9 equally? That is 3 times, correct. Let's go ahead and write our 3 up there. We subtract by 9 and look, we're now at 0. So now again, remember, if we hit 0, we stop there. We no longer do anything. We're done with the problem. Now let's worry about our placement of our decimal. So our first number was 48. That was 16. So now we have to add a decimal right after the 16 because that was the number before the decimal when we started. So our answer for number 2 is 16.3, just like that. Okay, let's do one more question together. That would be number 3, 6 divided by 30.0. So let's start again with, the third one. Our problem is 30 divided by 6. So let's start with our whole number. How many times does 6 go into 30? 5 times, correct. Let's go ahead and put 5 up there. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract it from the 30, we get a 0. We bring down the 0, that was after the decimal right here. We bring it straight down. So now we're at 0 again. Okay, let's just go ahead and put a 0.0 because we are dealing with the decimal. How to do that? We add a 0.0 after the 5. So now it's still a whole number, but in a decimal form. Now that we have finished with our 3 examples, let's go ahead and do our own work. So each of you work individually. I will be walking around. If you have any questions, I will gladly answer all of them and help you through any problems you're having.